All right, you throw some coolant in it.
What?
Nothing. What you got? I made some changes to the start fuel. I didn't like that, so I have to go back and revisit that. It may be better on a warm start, but on the cool start, not so much. Hey guys, this is weird. First time I put the GoPro on selfie mode. I'm just holding it with the little tripod there. I don't get in the camera much because I don't feel like I really need to, because I think you guys are here for the cars more than anything else. So having said that, I took it out for a test drive earlier today. Actually, it was yesterday. Today's Sunday. And yeah, I showed a little bit of video of that. Maybe if I pulled it off my phone, I have no setup in my car for holding a phone yet. And there's a lot of things that I like to look at while I'm driving. So in that, you might have seen just a little bit of the way the laptop's set up to watch what's going on, even though I'm not really looking at it too much while I'm driving. Yeah, it's running good. Things that I noted, that the charging system is working fine. No issues there. Got good voltage. I'll look at the log and see what it's putting out, but it looked to me like it was just shy of 14. The temperature came up to temperature, but I didn't get a really good single log from cold start to full temperature to see what it was going to do. So I still owe you that. I owe myself that, really. I need to see it. And then got back. I actually drove over to my buddy's house, and after it sat for a while, I did notice some water leaks on the ground, and drove it back to the house. And you know, I guess it was kind of inevitable when you take that many things apart that something's not going to be tight enough or it's going to leak. But I really hate that. So over the period of last night and early today, I went through, tightened out some of the hose clamps that weren't quite tight enough. The lower radiator hose was probably the biggest culprit down there. and it was leaking. Dadgummit, I see it a drip now. See, I put this paper down here just to see, and it looks to me like, yep, sure enough, there's a freaking drip there. And I'll go back under there. I really, 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 really hope that the radiator itself does not have a leak. That right there, that little spot, took about, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours to manifest. And I really think it's just seeping out of that lower radiator hose, which sucks because I replaced that lower radiator hose. It's a brand new Ford piece. You can even see the sticker still on it down there, I think. Hard for me to see what you guys are seeing there, but yeah, there's the oil filter, so I know you can see it. At any rate, it seems to me that it's seeping out from that neck right there. It seems very simple. I don't know why that decides it has to leak. Hopefully the neck's not cracked itself. Not seeing, well, I take that back. There was one more seepage area, and that was in between the water pump and the timing cover on the passenger side. It's really hard to get to, and I don't think there's really any way I can get you in there to see it. But what I did is I went around and I retightened the bolts around the water pump and the timing case, and some of them needed to be tightened up again, just a little bit of a retorque, I guess you could call it. And so we'll drive it a bit and see what happens. The only other thing I did off camera was I made a little aluminum guard to go across that radiator hose right there. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, but the oil filter just barely comes in contact with that hose, and it probably touches it often enough while I'm driving that I wanted to put something around it. So I just took a little bit of aluminum flashing, folded the ends over so they wouldn't have any sharp edges, and formed it on a piece of PVC pipe, and then put a couple zip ties around it. And that should eliminate any chafing that comes from that oil filter to the rubber hose itself. And so that's where I'm at right now. I looked at the logs. The engine's or the car's running pretty good. Still severely traction limited. My biggest, not wish list or anything like that, next purchase, I guess, is going to be tires. So just as a little background, what I'm running right now is a 275 45 17 on the back, and then on the front it's a 245 45 17. Now I'm not really too happy with that combination. So the front ones are just too big and heavy. I really want to get some of the weight off of the front side of this car, and it's not like I'm going to be doing a lot of autocrossing and anything else in it. I don't know, maybe I will, but Fox bodies just don't handle that well because of the weight distribution and the McPherson strut suspension and a couple other things. So making this thing into a true track car really means completely turning it into a race car, which I'm not going to do. So yeah, emphasize the things that are good about it. It likes to go straight, and unfortunately, I'm not getting a lot of traction right now, and it's mainly because these Nittos are just old, and they were good when I got them. They're 555 Rs, and they're good tires. They still make them. They've been replaced now by I think the G2 or something like that. I'll have to look, but at any rate, it's a good tire, but it's old, and it's probably even got some fender clearance issues there. I'll probably need to roll these lips when I get new ones because I don't want that to happen again. That happened early on. It doesn't do it so much now. But at any rate, for a 17-inch wheel, you're kind of limited. I can either put another 275/70 on or 275/40 on there. And the next step up is a 275/50, which makes it a 28-inch tire. Now, reading all the forums and looking at stuff like that, you can put a 28-inch tire on these. In fact, most drag cars have those already. But I got a lot of bumps and stuff like that around here, and I'm already having tire rub issues with body roll, which is a different subject, but it's still there. And I know with a 28-inch tire, I'm going to be scraping the fenders all the time, and I hate that. I just don't want it. So can't really go wider because of the same issues. So I want a 275 tire. Ideally, I would have liked to have gone back to a 15-inch wheel and a 275 tire to have more actual sidewall. And the reason why I want more sidewall is just plain and simple for a better ride. The roads around my house are crap, and I would like to have it a little bit better ride. It doesn't have to be like a skateboard when I'm driving it around on rough roads and stuff. So, but after searching out the wheel combinations, especially since now it's a 5-lug, and I'm really kind of regretting my decision to go to a 5-lug because I thought I would have more wheel choices, and I actually have less, which is just stupid, but it's the truth. Based on the back spacing and the offset and everything else, when you start shopping for wheels, it goes from like 3,000 down to like 4. And I don't like any of the options that are out there for this particular setup on a 15-inch wheel without paying an exorbitant price. Really, what I would like to have is just some like NASCAR Aero style Steelies on there in 15s. I think it would look badass and business-like, but they don't make them in the offset that I want unless I went to a custom wheel, and I just don't want to do that. So I think I'm just going to stay with the 275s, 40s on the back. And I was looking at the Mickey Thompson's ET Streets, and they look like a pretty good deal. I could put another set of Nittos on there, but I really like something else. I just want to just see what else is, what a different tire works like. Let's just put it that way. Now on the front, it's a different story. I don't want that much meat on the front. It cuts into my turning radius, which I don't like, and it just adds weight. But if I try to put a smaller section wheel or tire on these wheels, it's going to look stupid. And so I basically have to go and get a narrower wheel to go back to a narrower tire. A 225 is fine on the front of these, and that's what it was stock. But a 225/60 on a 15-inch rim looks dumb. So I could find a 225 on a 17-inch wheel that would look fine. And I just match the sidewall or the aspect ratio so that the tires would be the same size front and rear. That's not a hard thing to do as long as you search through the combinations. I got a little calculator on an Excel spreadsheet that I use to make sure that that shows all the different aspect ratios and everything else for the different size tires. So that's where I'm at right now. I may not buy 4 tires, but I kind of need 4 tires. When I first built the car, the right side tire, before I got it aligned, I drove it around. I drove it too much because I was just flat too lazy to go get it aligned. And I'm here to tell you that if you don't get your tires aligned or your car aligned right after you buy new tires or do suspension work, then you're going to wind up with like the first 2 or 3 inches of your tire just completely wore away, or maybe the inner one. And so I went and got it aligned, and I haven't experienced any more uneven tire wear since then, but the damage was already done. So I've been driving around like that for a while, and it's aligned properly now, and it's not getting any worse. And I was just waiting until I needed tires before I replaced that. So I really need all 4 tires, mainly because I want to feel what this thing feels like with the power that it's got. Once it hits about 45 to 5,000 RPM, it's game over. There's no holding it, and it doesn't matter what gear you're in. So I want to feel this thing hook. Part of that's weight distribution, part of it's suspension setup, but a lot of it's tires. And so I think with a 28-inch tire, I could hook it, but I'm not sure I want to go with all the compromises that go into a 28 tire comes along with it. I mean, maybe I get a second set of wheels and tires to put on there if I take it to the track, and then have a set to drive around on around town. That's okay, but I don't know if I'm ready for that or not. I mean, I just kind of, I don't know. It's just an added pain in the ass, to be honest with you. As little as I go to the track and stuff, and maybe I'll do it more if that's what you guys want to see. You know, when you wind up breaking stuff, it's a good excuse to buy new stuff. So at any rate, so far I'm pretty happy. Just to wrap this up, I'm pretty happy with the cooling system mods that I've made so far. I think the radiator will go towards keeping it nice and cool in the summertime, which is what I really wanted, and making sure that I just don't have any long-term issues with the cooling capacity should I add more power later on. So yeah, I'll do some more driving on it as soon as I get some decent weather. It's the winter down here in Alabama is basically it's either freezing cold and sunny, or it's warm and rainy, and today's kind of a middling rainy crap day, and so I'm just not driving it in the rain. traction issues are bad enough in the dry. So at any rate, I'll let you guys go at this point, and I'll let you know what the next project's going to be, and more than likely it's going to be tires. Might sprinkle in a couple little miscellaneous upgrades. I still got to do the redo the tint on the quarter windows and the carpeting in the back to make that look a little bit better. So might change it up for the next couple. Might do some more tuning in the meantime. I made changes to the last tune. I said it was going to be over, but now it's not. I was going to make changes I made a bunch of changes to the tune, trying to get stylish with a few things, go back, and it basically didn't idle for crap. And oof, man, once you get a good solid idle, I'm trying not to throw in the F-bomb here, but don't mess with it, all right? If you got a good idle, don't mess with that part of the map ever, 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 ever. Is that enough evers? I'm not real sure. So I went back to the previous tune, and I'll look at, a couple other things on the tune is that I made some adjustments to the warm starting tables. Really, they're the same tables, but in the warm areas of the tables that deal with engine start, and got it to start up real nicely when it's warm. Only I took out a little bit too much fuel when it's cold, and now it doesn't start when it's cold. But that's an easy fix. So on the next iteration of the tune, I'll fix the cold starting issues, and I'll have to drive it some more to see what other issues I want to tackle next. But for the most part, it's running pretty good. Some areas in the map that are a little lean, not real lean, but a little lean, that I'll have to look at, and some rich areas that I probably just won't mess with because they're in the D-cell ranges, and I'll let the oxygen sensors take care of that. So that's enough flapping. I just wanted to give you a quick update on what the results of the last few days worth of working and doing stuff were. So thanks for hanging with me. I appreciate it if you like and subscribe my channel. I'm so far behind posting videos that I have no idea what you guys even think about all this stuff at this point. So I'll start trying to get a little bit more up to date so I can get some real-time feedback and improve my channel. But I think about improvements that I can make, like camera angles and lighting and things like that. Maybe getting myself some newer and better tools to replace some of the old worn out junk that I got. And that's coming. So thanks guys for hanging out with me in my garage. We'll see you later.